There comes a day in every man's life where he must make a choice. Settle down and start a family, or blow up a small village in a raging fire incident, leaving no survivors, and several exciting real estate opportunities. Shareholders overwhelmingly support this option. So today, indirect fire enthusiast Benedict Artillery will attempt to show the Commonwealth that civil disputes with neighbors are pointless when you can simply drop a warhead on their house to win the argument. Like all great leaders, Ben was forged through genetic perfection, and several decisions that should legally require a permit. With nothing to fear thanks to our superior status of military war crimes, we get accepted to the vault, but first, I thought I should ask this kid his thoughts on the apocalypse.
Hey there.
What's going on? Why is everyone yelling?
Have you experienced a sunburn at the beach, little Timmy? It's kind of similar to that. Luckily for us, we enter the vault with our whole family intact, and as everyone knows, losing your family is the only thing that could possibly drive a man insane. Oh. Studies show that a father losing his family has a direct correlation with becoming a cosplayer. Less femboy renaissance, more war criminal obsessed with explosive ordnance. We are going to bless the entire Commonwealth with high explosive ordnance that can't legally be linked back to us. That means firearms and melee weapons are banned, and our only way of dealing death must be from the starving farmer on the other side of the map firing on our behalf. Until we get a civilized means of evaporating helpless wildlife, we have no way of helping the people trapped in Concord. Then why not acquire a companion to help do the deed of murdering on our behalf? An interesting idea. However, the simple act of adopting a dog and watching it eat 2 bugs somehow legally bestows to us the ownership of said murder. So companions are a delicious liability. But is that it? No way to get artillery without legally having unrelated deaths linked back to us? Of course not! This is a Bethesda game after all, which means there is always a way to break the system. And our secret to success is in Diamond City. Along the way we stop at Grey Garden, where I freely steal their food and sell it back to them, only to receive 2 caps per fruit. Insulted at the ludicrous deal, I hid and stole exactly 1 enamel bucket, before tossing it into the nearby river and watching it float away. This action would surely drive the robotic settlers into a psychotic mental break, once they realize there is permanently 1 bucket left unaccounted for. That should teach them a valuable lesson. Arriving at Diamond City, we can see why it's called the Great Green Jewel. No, not because of the wall, but because of their absolutely priceless sense of fashion. So what's this important loophole to help us evade legal consequences? The better answer is who, not what, as I have a very specific person in mind. After scanning the deepest, darkest recesses of the internet, only one being contains the right combination of social anxiety and murderous intent to bring us to our goal. Say hello to Travis, a follower you can acquire for the low price of his longtime friend being held hostage. Now with our new best friend, who we can shift all future blame to, you can see that Travis's actions are not blamed on us, which means all his crimes are his own. But in a new civilized way of warfare, this is not a weapon that meets Ben's recommended artillery standards. But how does one acquire man-portable artillery? The question will lead us to the naval equivalent of female parking, where we politely offer our help in services such as target practice on living subjects, repairing essential ship components, and lastly, Ben's favorite, stealing from poor people. Insulted at the exercising of power on the lower class, the scavengers attack and we are tasked with defending the ship. However, with no means of dealing damage, we must instead use our soft, supple body to defend the ship. After receiving enough gunshot wounds to be legally classified as a screen door with legs, we obtain our reward, the broadsider, a portable naval cannon and therefore artillery. Unfortunately, its use in directly turning people into human meat slushies like an Aztec sacrificial ritual,
Who are we gonna sacrifice?
deeply disturbs Ben, who prefers to be a comfortable 100 feet away when limbs are explosively ejected from the human body. So instead, it will be entrusted to our first mate and dedicated serial killer Travis to support us in spirit and in violence. However, through Bethesda magic, the only way to gift our beloved companion with such an item was to stow it in his delectable backside for safekeeping. And if in the process I'm noticed, he instantly becomes hostile. It only took 23 attempts, on a 20% success chance. I should really go gambling. Now with our properly equipped and very violent intern, our goal should be to return to Concord and save the survivors. However, to save the definitely alive individuals, we must first defeat the wasteland gecko fueled by insurance sales and crystal meth. Simple enough fix, right? Just use Travis to solve. So with that idea exhausted and Travis only suffering from 7 concussions, what's plan B? Plan B is to find a like-minded individual who also believes indirect violence is the solution. I think we found our man. After helping repair the submarine, we receive our reward: 3 nuclear missiles and the captain's sword. It must be a priceless family artifact that only the most respectful and careful of collectors should own. So I sold it to the local drug dealer and returned to Concord. Our intern fought his way through the raiders like a god of war with social anxiety. The survivors turned out to be what can only be described as a cult of revolutionary cosplayers with dead friend issues. There was previously only 1 individual to fit that description. Now there are 6. That's a 500% increase businesses would kill for that. After showing the local wildlife the power of the sun, we get to work securing settlements until Preston tells us that it's time to retake the castle. The only thing standing in our way is mankind's sworn enemy and evolution's ultimate life form. What we lack in numbers, we make up for with our intelligence and superior firepower. The majority of our soldiers died only seconds into the battle. That's a new personal best. With our base secured through civilized means, it was time to start our democratic authoritarian regime. So we started construction of our first artillery emplacements thanks to the saleswoman who wanted to show us the benefits of Canadian healthcare. With our glorious artillery finally in our possession, I had the dream of installing these wonderful contraptions in every settlement before firing a single shell. This would prove to be the worst decision I could have ever done to myself. Spending over 40 minutes to clear 1 settlement and realizing I had 20 more to go made me want to invest in something more enjoyable, such as eating concrete. I may have gone a tad bit overboard, but I know just the place to test it.
Ah, my knight in shining armor.
With the help of Nick Valentine, we tracked down Kellogg to Fort Hagen, which was my second guess. The first was a barbershop. He would prove no match for our trusty artillery psychopath in a duel, while I figure out what pocket this corn is truly going in. After many hours of searching, we finally make our way into the Institute, and demand we have our son returned.
I am, Sean. I am. Your son.
Seeing as how our son was an infant when kidnapped, that's when we realized that the glowing lights and sparkling clean floors were a lie. Identity theft is not a joke. So after finding the leader of the Institute doing his best Elvis impression, the Institute scientists reviewed the security footage. The evidence was found to be inconclusive. With no evidence to implicate Ben in any homicide cases, the Institute makes the wise decision of promoting an unknown lunatic to leader of their scientific establishment. And now, as leader of the most powerful faction, we have to start making impactful decisions, like getting rid of this ridiculous name for such a powerful society. The Institute doesn't hit the same way as other great nations of the past, which is why I propose the name change to Department of Evaporating Poor People. Rolls off the tongue better and proves that we are in fact the good guys. What do we do as our first great action as glorious new leader? We do what our forefathers taught us well and immediately betray them, to which they respond by attacking the castle, while in range of dozens of artillery teams. It's safe to say only a handful of friendly fire statistics occurred. Now time to get revenge for being rightfully attacked by the faction I betrayed. I think it's time you get a little upgrade, Travis. If the destruction of the Institute has taught Ben one thing, it's that war
War never changes.